Trump on course to win. Thursday's presidential debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump marks the beginning of the final stretch of the race for the White House. Next up are the Republican convention in July, Democratic convention in August, and another debate on September 10th. Traditionally, the final stretch of the campaign begins after Labor Day in early September, but the early debate has lengthened the campaign season. Where does the race stand now, and what does it mean for South Korea? According to New York Times, if the election were held now, Trump would win 312 electoral votes compared to Biden's 226. If stated within the margin of error broke for Biden, he would win 270 electoral votes, just hitting the magic number needed for victory. If things broke for Trump, he would add to his already impressive lead. Trump is clearly ahead now and is likely to win. Donald Trump, of course, is a convicted felon who left office in disgrace after supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, in a failed attempt to prevent the U.S. Congress from certifying the results of the 2020 election that Trump lost to Biden. He's the only president who has been impeached twice and remains the most polarizing figure in U.S. politics today. Under normal conditions, a candidate with Trump's baggage would not have been able to win the nomination of a major party, let alone maintain a lead in general election polls. Trump's staying power suggests that conditions in 2024 are not normal, but a closer look shows that several long-standing historical trends are working to boost Trump. The first trend is the presence of third-party candidates that draw votes from the incumbent president. The most recent example of this was 1992, when Rosa Parrott won a respectable 19% of the vote, mostly at the expense of incumbent President George H.W. Bush, which helped Bill Clinton win a decisive victory. Another example was 1980, when John Anderson drew votes from Jimmy Carter, which helped Ronald Reagan win in a landslide victory. In 1912, the last time a former president tried to return to office, Theodore Roosevelt came in second as a third-party candidate, forcing incumbent William Howard Taft down to third place. Woodrow Wilson won the election handedly. This year, President Joe Biden faces three third-party bids that could draw more votes from him than from Donald Trump. The most serious of this is the independent candidacy of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the eldest son of Robert F. Kennedy and the nephew of former President John F. Kennedy. Kennedy first entered the race in the Democratic primaries, but later withdrew in favor of an independent bid. On average of recent polling shows him at 8%, but polls range from 4% to 14%, making it hard to gauge his support accurately. Some polls have shown Kennedy drawing equally from Biden and Trump. but Kennedy is strongest with the younger votes, a group that went heavily for Biden in 2020. To the left, the Green Party candidate Jill Stein and independent Cornel West are polling at about 3% combined. Stein poses a bigger challenge because she will be on the ballot in most states, but West could draw votes away from Biden in battleground state if he gets on the ballot. Many Democrats blame Stein for costing Hillary Clinton the election in 2016 and fear that history may repeat itself this year. The Libertarian Party will also be on the ballot in most states, but infighting has weakened the party. The second trend is that incumbent presidents with low approval ratings always lose. Since modern polling began in the 1930s, 4 incumbents have lost re-election. Ford in 1976, Carter in 1980, Bush in 1992, and Trump in 2020. In June of the election year, all had job approval ratings below 45%. With an approval rating just under 40%, Joe Biden is in a perilous position. Only Jimmy Carter had a low approval rating. By contrast, incumbents such as Clinton and Reagan, with approval ratings over 50%, won re-election easily. Certain events could easily influence the race, but the combination of third-party candidates and low approval ratings weighs heavily on Biden. For South Korea, this means that the chances of a second Trump presidency are higher than not. Korea policy in Trump's first term swung wildly from warmongering to peacemaking. Predicting what Trump will do is a fool's errand, but he might, to satisfy his massive ego, start a second term by trying to re-engage with North Korea.